Mini episode 821 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Welcome to FDH Lounge, mini episode number 821. I'm FDH managing partner Rick Morris here with a primer on the Trailer Park Boys series heading into season 11, which debuts on Netflix on March 31st. Trailer Park Boys is a huge comedic sensation out of Canada, Nova Scotia to be exact, that has developed an international following in recent years. It's a mockumentary comedy that follows the exploits of three ne'er-do-well ex-cons and those in their orbit at Sunnyvale Trailer Park. Because this series is still something of a hidden treasure, we're providing a spoiler-free guide to the first 10 seasons. Now, the park has been in the same hands for most of the series, but has had a few temporary changes from time to time, so we'll be referring to those most associated with the positions of authority as we're going through. Here are the top 5 things that you need to know about the Trailer Park Boys if you haven't watched it yet. Number 5, the core members of the show are Julian, the muscular brains of the bunch, dim-witted Ricky, who usually lives in his crappy old car, and Bubbles, the cat lover who lives in a shed. Julian usually hatches the group's schemes and tends to get carried away when things are going well, whether it be blowing money on expensive cars or getting arrogant and bossy. He is never seen in any situation without clutching his ever-present rum and coke. Ricky is noted for his malapropisms, known as Rickyisms, and for almost always being drunk and or high. The exception to the rule of his general stupidity is his savant-like ability to grow weed. Bubbles makes his money by stealing grocery carts, fixing them up, and selling them back to other stores. He is the most genuinely decent of the three, the resident gadget geek who wears hilariously thick Coke bottle glasses. The constant nemeses of the boys are perennially drunk trailer park supervisor Jim Leahy and his shirtless, obese assistant and live-in boyfriend Randy, a former man-whore with an obsessive love of cheeseburgers. Leahy is a former police officer whose self-important, law and order attitude is offended by the antics of the Trailer Park Boys, and the conflict between him and the boys is central to the majority of plots throughout the series. He hates Ricky most of all and is very attracted to Julian. Leahy is a primary reason that the boys have been sent back to jail so many times. Jim's ex-wife, Barb Leahy, is the primary owner of the trailer park through most of the series. Number 4. There are other central characters in the Trailer Park Boys' orbit. Ricky's longtime on and off girlfriend Lucy, who has apparently left the show prior to this new season, has almost always been the object of his attention, so it will be interesting to see him possibly involved with somebody else at this point. Ricky did briefly once have a thing with Lucy's best friend Sarah, who has hilariously held a grudge against him ever since. Ricky and Lucy have a daughter, Trinity, who went from being a little girl at the outset of the series to being grown up and getting married during season 10 to Jacob. Along with Corey, he is one of 2 hapless sidekicks to the Trailer Park Boys, who always end up doing all of their grunt work and risking their necks legally for them. Trinity and Jacob have a baby son named Motel, so named because Ricky screwed up the birth certificate. Ricky's father, Ray, hasn't been on the show in recent seasons, but in early years he lived alternatively at Sunnyvale and at the local dump. He's a hard-drinking ex-trucker who faked a disability for a long time, shamelessly referring to himself as, quote, the guy in the chair, end quote, even to everyone who was in on the scam. Sunnyvale has also had the funniest version ever of the white guy who thinks he's a black rapper, J-Rock, and his sidekick and MC, Tyrone. It appears that J-Rock is also departing the show prior to season 11, which would be a shame. Number 3. Other funny characters have popped up over the years with the Trailer Park Boys. Dating back to the pilot episode, fellow criminal Cyrus has been a thorn in the boys' side, as has his sometime sidekick Sam Lasco, a caveman resembling Greaseball who lost his dental practice thanks to some shenanigans from the boys. Officer George Green is the policeman who has been made to look the most foolish by the boys over the years. Colonel Leslie Dancer is an alcoholic ex-military con man once employed by Jim Leahy to help maintain order in the park. Steve Rogers is a self-impressed local TV newsman who emits a great air of superiority whenever he is covering any stories having to do with Sunnyvale. Number 2. Before becoming exclusive to Netflix with its new episodes, Trailer Park Boys was the most successful comedy in Canadian TV history. The program has featured guest appearances from many prominent figures in Canadian entertainment, but has expanded to develop a following in many countries. Having debuted in 2001, it's one of the first notable programs anywhere to utilize the mockumentary format, such that its stars almost exclusively make their public appearances in character. In addition to the 10 seasons, there have also been movies and specials featuring the Trailer Park Boys that are part of their Netflix catalog, some including versions of their live touring in-character stage shows. Also, the actors who portray the boys, John Paul Tremblay, Rob Wells, and Mike Smith, who have taken control of the franchise, formed a streaming network named SwearNet, which has many extras and other features pertaining to all things Sunnyvale. And inevitably in this day and age, the boys also do a regular podcast, in character, of course. Number 1, the show's creativity in terms of the schemes that the boys employ is one of the biggest keys to its longevity. While dope-growing operations with Ricky are a constant, the boys have run many other different activities out of the park, from an illicit casino to a daycare center for cats, to J-Rock's greasy straight-to-DVD movies, to selling stolen barbecues and siphoned gasoline, to Bubbles' Shed and Breakfast mini resort. They've made it this far without working an honest day in their lives, and they're on pace for many more wildly entertaining days before they're all done. The beauty of this series is that with a primer like this one, you can pretty much drop into any episode and feel like you're getting the gist of what the show is all about. It gets pigeonholed as having exclusively stupid humor, but the show is smarter than you'd think, and the laughs are endless. It's a thrill to be on the verge of Season 11. May there be many more. Thank you for tuning in to this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.
As we bring the show to a close, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, all Clear Channel affiliates, TNT, TBS, USA, UPN, Deadspin.com, YouTube.com, YTMND.com, MySpace.com, various blogs, Fox News, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, IamBoard.com, Billboard.com, Google.com, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPN Classic, NBA TV, NFL Network, Sports Time Ohio, Athlon Magazine, Comedy Central, Cartoon Network, The Boomerang Channel, QVC, BET, The Spice Channel, Steno Notebooks, Manwich, Papermate Office Supplies, waitresses, strippers, bartenders, garbage men, janitors, microwave popcorn, the writers of The Office, Scrubs, Entourage, My Name is Earl, Oz, Metalocalypse and the Boondocks, Aquafina, and the periodic table of elements.